Welcome to the Johnson C. Smith National Alumni Association podcast. I'm your host, Edward Lee, where every month we're going to be spotlighting the testimonies, the stories of those that attended and graduated from Johnson C. Smith University. They're going to be sharing not only how attending the university has impacted them academically, but in all aspects of life. Because we believe that Johnson C. Smith University is making an impact on the lives of others, and we want to share that story. So join us each month, whether you're a prospective student, whether you're a current student, whether you are an alum of Johnson C. Smith University. We hope that you enjoy this first episode. Welcome to the Johnson C. Smith National Alumni Association podcast. I am your host, Edward Lee, Johnson C. Smith University class of 1993. Having with me today, one of my good friends. We go way back to Liston Hall, cutting hair in the basement.
Yes, sir.
And I am here with Mr. Damian Johnson.
Yes, sir.
One half, I'll let you figure out if it's the better half or not. One half of No Grease Barbershop Enterprises. And they have an opportunity to sit down with Mr. Johnson and talk about his experience at Johnson C. Smith University as an alum. So, Damian.
Yes, sir.
It's good to sit down and talk
Absolutely,
with you here today.
Yeah.
Tell us, first of all, about No Grease Barbershops.
No Grease Barbershop was actually a brainchild of me and my brothers, coming up as as kids of a mother who was a stylist in Buffalo, New York. So we grew up in the hair industry, and it was an ideal that we had well into maybe our early teens about opening up our own business. So it started there, and then, after graduating from high school, going to college here at Johnson C. Smith, I started to work on that concept a little bit more. My brother stayed in New York. I came down to North Carolina, but we still had that idea of opening up our own business.
So I never come to Charlotte without catching up with you, sitting down. That's just what we do. That's a guarantee, always part of the trip. I know over the years you've shared with me some of the success stories, some of the challenges as well that being an entrepreneur for all these years. How many years has it been?
In business, 28 years now.
20 years.
Yeah.
Success and challenges of 28 years. What is one thing that you would share, one lesson learned? If our students are watching from Johnson C. Smith University, or business students, marketing students, prospective students, what's one thing that you would share that you've learned over these years of running your own shop business?
Yeah, so many lessons, man. I think my takeaway is definitely, having a plan, really having a plan and sticking to that plan. I know it sounds cliche, but it really is. We're literally working the plan that I worked on when I was in college.
Wow.
I did my thesis. It was called Strategic Marketing in the Barber Industry.
Okay.
And I wrote that thesis in 1995.
Okay.
And when I look at it, even to this day, that was part of the roadmap for us to be where we are right now. So definitely having a plan and being able to go tweak it when you need to tweak it, but having a plan is really what's going to kind of carry you the long haul.
Tell us about how you arrived at Johnson C. Smith. I'm not talking about the bus, the plane, the car ride, but I think all of us who have come to Johnson C. Smith University, we show up with a story.
Yeah.
We show up with a story. Tell me about how you arrived. What were you like? How did you get to Johnson C. Smith University?
I got here based off a conversation I had with a counselor in Buffalo who wanted me to go to HBCU. I wanted to go to HBCU too, but I think he wanted it more than me. Being in Buffalo, it's not a lot of HBCUs in that area, upper state New York. And so I started looking at schools, and it was Livingstone, it was Morgan, and then it was Johnson C. Smith. And of course I did apply to a school up in Buffalo, but HBCU was the one that I wanted to go to. And so I remember doing writing my letter to get my acceptance letter to try to get into school, and my counselor helping me with it, my mom looking at it, and sent it off, got the letter back, got accepted, man. And it was like a dream, man. I had watched School Days and Higher Learning and all the other movies. So going to a black college, man, it was like heaven, man. So that was my interim of kind of coming to North Carolina, and my grandfather lived in North Carolina too. So that was another motivation to get to North Carolina.
Okay.
So that was the beginning, man. But that was just the interim of me kind of planting my feet in North Carolina at Johnson Smith.
So then coming from Buffalo to Charlotte, and you came to Charlotte probably early 90s, right?
91.
91, okay.
91, yeah.
Charlotte was young. We were young, Charlotte was young back then. So a lot of things that exist today were not in existence then. Yeah. So what was it like for you to come from Buffalo, up north, down south, city, down to Charlotte was no city back then.
It wasn't a city.
It was small. It was on the verge of becoming a small town back in those days. So what was it like for you to come from where you come from in Buffalo to Charlotte, to Johnson C. Smith? What was that like for you then?
It was exciting because I could see what I could bring to Charlotte, what I could bring to Johnson C. Smith, whether it was my personality, my style, my business savvy, my hustle. I seen a lot of that wasn't here. So I guess I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I saw opportunity. So I saw opportunity on campus. It was like, okay, I'm a little, my swag a little different. I'm from Buffalo. Even I didn't never claim New York. I claimed Buffalo. Okay. So that's a different, a different type of style, a different kind of, swag that was coming in. So I did that. And then I could just see different things with barbers. They wasn't cutting hair like I was cutting hair. And they definitely didn't have the hustle that I had. So I saw opportunity, not only on campus, but when I would go into the city. There was like small mom and pop barbershops. They wasn't really up on too much. So I saw opportunity there. It was a black and white city then. It was not much going on. When I say black and white, that means you saw black people and you saw white people. That's about it. And so when I would just be in the city, I was like, I could tell that the city was growing. And so I could just see opportunity. Quite honestly, I just saw opportunity.
You talk about opportunity. You have taken that opportunity.
Yeah.
And you are now, of the however many black barbershops that exist, you are what we at Johnson C. Smith are proud of. I'm sure you kind of feel happy about it too, but we at Smith are proud to know that one of our own alumni of Johnson C. Smith University, you have the first and only black male barbershop franchise. Yeah. I'm up in Maryland. We got no grease in Maryland. I know you go down as far as south as Atlanta.
Georgia, yeah.
Georgia. Yeah. And so what is that like to have a franchise? I mean, there's black barbershops everywhere, every corner, every city, every place, but your franchise, you're beyond just Charlotte.
So when we were, even the idea of a franchise, when we had the idea of a franchise, we didn't know that there was no other black franchise barbershops out there. We thought, that was, we thought that was common. We just didn't know it wasn't another black franchise barbershop. And, so we had to educate ourselves and understand what franchise was. And so when we became a franchise in 2017, and it was reported that we were the only black franchise barbershop, we were blown away.
Wow.
And I remember saying things like, if it hadn't been done, it was because we hadn't done it yet. Not really knowing that nobody hadn't done it yet. Right. So that's the thing that, even to this day, we know the difficulty and the challenges that, operating and starting a franchise business is a heavy lift.
Okay.
It's in any industry, it would be a heavy lift. And so we are proud and we are grateful, man, that we kind of stepped into that realm. So yeah, since 2017, we are a franchise barbershop. So, you've heard of the great clips and super cuts and all the sports clips, but as far as black barbershop franchises, there's only no grease.
There's only no grease. Amen.
Yeah.
What did you get at Johnson C. Smith that you could not have gotten anywhere else? You know this, you're convinced of this. If I would have gone anywhere else, I couldn't have got this thing, this experience, this takeaway, but only from Johnson C. Smith University.
The only thing, I mean, Johnson C. Smith, there's no other place I would have gotten the extended family that I have at Johnson C. Smith. I think Johnson C. Smith was tailor made for me to have brothers like yourself and a whole slew of people that I call family. And that's what really helped me navigate those 4 years in college. And those same people supported my business when we were still trying to figure it out. I mean, literally, if not 90% of my clientele came from Johnson C. Smith in those early years. And so that support I couldn't have got from anyone else. I mean, for us to have that type of support, it was like family. And there's no way I would have got that from anyone. It's no way we would have got that from anyone else.
With that being said, what then do you still treasure about what you learned and what you gained from Johnson C. Smith University?
What I learned is definitely the hustle, because if you at Johnson C. Smith, you grind it. And so I still take that same approach to business and to life. The networking and the relationships are golden. I think working and nurturing relationships is key to not just business, but to life. And I think, I'm 30 years a graduate now.
So you said 30 years old. You think you were 30?
No, I'm over 30. I'm 30 years since graduating in 1995, and those relationships, man. I mean, being up in Maryland is because we have a whole bunch of Smithites up there that actually support us up there. I mean, I'm in Georgia. People from Smith support us there. So those relationships, those networks, making the phone calls to these valued people who are putting the work in America, all over this country. That's right there. That's really what we've been doing. The network, the relationships, just continuing to build those.
Last question. He's a busy man. He's got to get back to work. But last question. If a prospective student from Buffalo, New York, was to watch this, and they're trying to determine their future, where they're going, they're interested in coming and experience the HBCU experience that you know of at Johnson C. Smith University. Speak to them for a second. What would you say to a young person from where you're from, who's on the fence, who's trying to decide about coming to Johnson C. Smith University? What would you say to them?
Listen, if you're from Buffalo, New York, and you've traveled down Bailey Avenue, East Delavan, Genesee, I can go on, Broadway, Suffolk. If you've traveled that road would have prepared you to come down to Johnson C. Smith, and you would just soar like an eagle because of what you've experienced in Buffalo and what Johnson C. Smith can do to nurture that is amazing. I mean, coming from Buffalo, New York, being here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and being a part of the Golden Bulls, Johnson C. Smith University, that combination of that Buffalo and that Golden Bull is magic. It's magic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Again, thank you for tuning in. Johnson C. Smith University National Alumni Association podcast. Here today with my good friend of 30 years and then some. The kind of relationships that you forge here at Johnson C. Smith University. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening here today. And again, I want to thank Mr. Damian Johnson, the owner of the only black male barbershop franchise in these United States and actually anywhere on the planet. So again, thank you for tuning in. We love D. Smith with all our heart.
Golden Bulls.
Golden Bulls.
Golden Bulls, baby.
So there it is, our first episode of our Johnson C. Smith University National Alumni Association podcast. If you're an alum and you have a story to tell to our prospective students, to current students, to even encourage our fellow alum, we want to hear from you as you share your story of how attending this university has changed your life. As together we hold high the gold and blue of Johnson C. Smith University.